What was your first job ever?
I found a dead snake and went door to door until I sold it for a silver dollar. When I was like,
Is there a market for?
I sold that son of a bitch. Patrick Larkin bought it. I didn't want a dollar. I wanted a silver dollar, and I got a silver dollar.
You're quite the salesman.
Yeah,
I could sell a dead snake for a silver dollar. That sounds like an old adage from Texas.
He's such a good salesman.
He's so sly. He could sell a dead snake for a silver dollar. Ding-a-ding-ba-ding-dong.
Once we were spacemen.
I tend to play weird people, usually aliens and robots and things that don't have romance.
I once didn't get a job where they were looking for a Nathan Fillion type. Once we were spacemen.
Once we were spacemen.
Alan Tudyk, do the thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Once We Were Spacemen. Because once we were spacemen. It was a great time. It was a sexy time.
Oh, yeah.
It was a time that we didn't pay attention to time because things were happening and they were fun. And now, as time has gone on, we look back at that time and we say to ourselves, once we were spacemen. Hey, Nathan.
Good times.
I should start writing things for that, I think.
That would, I think, spoil the fun.
I think I could maybe make them better. I don't know. I'll think about it.
I think the enemy of good is better.
Is it?
Yeah, the enemy of good is better. Somebody told me that once.
But isn't better than good?
But you keep chasing it. If you have it, if you've got it,
right?
Why chase it?
Well, in work, there's always room for better. Maybe that's setting yourself up for failure and a life of unsatisfactory wins. Like even if you win, you're like, could have been better.
That's, I think, a good lesson in life. How you doing, buddy?
I'm better.
There's many places you could possibly be. Tell me where you are right now. I don't recognize the room behind you.
This is Los Angeles, in my Los Angeles home. Now that there's going to be a little video piece to this, I think I need to set up something a little bit more lovely. Right now, it's just obviously a room at my house.
I have a room for this. You know I do. I have a room for exactly this.
Yeah.
With incredible lighting.
Is that where you are right now?
No, I'm in my theater. I see the theater. It's a little room that I have a TV in.
That's a good way to do that. And everybody out there, if you have a room with a TV in it, start calling it your theater. It feels better.
I also call it the cave. It's like somebody gave me some wooden cutout letters. It's up there on the wall. It says the cave.
How do you differentiate it from your cave? Because, I'm in my cave most days.
Do you have a man cave? Do you have like a den? Do you have like a little room that's just for Alan?
Yeah. Actually, I do. Well, downstairs.
That little dungeon room.
It does have a very dungeony feel. It could be a cave. It didn't belong. It didn't come with the house. It was built into the house by myself and, more importantly, my friend Billy, who was a contractor at one time in his life and knew what he was doing. I just supplied tequila and the wood and cement. I helped a lot, but he knew how to make it work.
I remember the door on that room is not a true door size.
No, it's small. Again, really
That's
reinforcing
why I say
the
it's
cave.
kind of a dungeon room, because it has that little door.
You'll hit your head on it. I wanted to put some of those little Western doors, I wanted to do a Western door thing because, you only see those. Where do you see them anymore? They used to have them in porn, in like video shops. There'd be like a couple of Western doors in the back. You're like, what's back there? They're like, the porn. And that was that's where Western doors got relegated to just seedy little back rooms of porn shops.
Don't some restaurants still have those kind of swinging saloon doors? To go to the kitchen?
I hope so. There was one in Texas called the Feed Bag. It was a hamburger place. It had Western doors, and I love going there just to go through the Western doors. I just love pushing through them and pretending like I was a cowboy.
There's a new sheriff in town.
Yeah, I announced two, evidently, when I was a young little 3-year-old, 4-year-old child push through them and announce to the whole restaurant, "I'm Black Bart, and I'm here to get burgers," or something like that, and
You would do
embarrassed my
this?
mother. I did it one time because I yelled it out, and the whole restaurant was like, "The hell is that, child?" I loved cartoons. There were a lot of those saloon cartoons with Bugs Bunny and Yosemite Sam.
yes.
There were some
Oh,
of
yes.
those, and Daffy Duck as well.
Yeah. Stuff you
Warner
don't
Brothers.
see anymore because they were shooting them in each other in the face and stuff. And they're pretty concerned about what they're teaching kids.
It's Yosemite Sam!
That's why there's no violence in our world. There was a child staying with me a while ago. It was a friend of ours who he was in a trial separation from his wife and moved his 2-year-old son in. I was like, "Hey, come move into my house while you're trial separated." He brought a 2-year-old with him, and we had a blast. It was a great summer. But I was like, this little kid needs to see some real cartoons. This is how I feel like I learned comedy, was by watching Warner Brothers cartoons, because they were based on vaudeville, and it's the classic 1, 2, 3, and just really great comedy. And we propped him up in front of the TV, and we turned it on. Somebody came, I think it was Bugs Bunny, hit Elmer Fudd in the head. He looked at his dad, had a pillow, and hit his dad in the head with it. And that was it. We were done watching those cartoons, because it was immediate. You watched him see it and then try it out. It's like, all right, enough of that.
A cautionary tale.
It was. I don't know if he's grown into a violent child. We've lost touch.
What was your first job ever?
I found a dead snake and went door to door until I sold it for a silver dollar. I was like,
Is there a market for?
I sold that son of a bitch. Patrick Larkin bought it. I didn't want a dollar. I wanted a silver dollar, and I got a silver dollar.
You're quite the salesman.
Yeah.
I could sell a dead snake for a silver dollar. That sounds like an old adage from
Yeah.
Texas.
He's such a good salesman.
He's so sly. He could sell a dead snake for a silver dollar.
Yeah.
Ding-a-ding-a-ding-down.
I was always coming up with things to sell and ways to make money. When I got old enough, probably 11, I was going around and putting flyers around the neighborhood that I would babysit or wash your windows or weed your garden or anything.
Were you any good at any of these, John?
No, definitely not babysitting. I was terrible at that. I needed my own babysitter to babysit somebody. Also, weeding I could do, and I would only charge you a penny a weed. God, it was the worst job. I'd charge you a penny a weed, and if I don't get the root, you don't have to pay me,
That was on your flyer.
because it'll just grow back. So I get the root, I get the whole thing, and I'd wash your car. I would do all that kind of stuff.
I had a friend in New York City. Her name was Amy. She grew up, I guess, Texas, one of these southern states.
Mhm.
But she
Texas
and
isn't
a-
just one of these. But go on, yes.
okay. But she and a friend of hers had her friend's father was the pastor,
Okay.
and they had access to this church where in the back kind of office room. Do you remember mimeograph machines?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You had to type something onto a carbon paper, and then you'd put it onto this drum, and you'd roll the drum, and with toner, it was an early form of photocopying.
Yeah, it was like a photocopier.
And you turn this,
and it smelled a certain way. Yeah. and
Yes, it had quite an odor, and
The
certainly
ink
it was
people would
toxic.
smell them as kids, saying it could get you high
And it was only good for so many copies before you had to make a new carbon paper. And so
before
anyway,
you got wasted. Absolutely.
they would concoct lottery tickets and mimeograph them and cut them out and staple them together and go to the rich neighborhood in town and sell lottery tickets for a raffle that did not exist.
Holy! And they did this at a church.
Out of a church. That was their base of operations. Yeah. That's
Oh my God!
some high level scammery that I would never have conceived of as a kid.
That
These
is
kids were making money hand over fist. They were $20 a book.
that's the devil's work. That is the devil's work. They're going into the house of God to print up lies for money, and what they use that money for? Liquor,
If she told me, I forget. This is a very old story.
drugs, sex. There's all the wrong things.
But Alan, so that's early entrepreneurship. But what was your first job? I need your social
Right.
security number for
Oh.
your W2?
I was a paper boy. I had 2 paper routes. Yeah. The Plano Star
What does it
Courier.
mean to have 2? Is like a paper route is so many houses?
Yeah. It's like one section of a suburb. And then I was that section. And then I took over my brother's when he got tired of it. And I did 2. And you basically, it was a pain in the butt. There was a lot of rolling papers, a lot of rubber bands. You get a big stack of papers, you roll them up, and then you'd have to deliver them. Sundays, you get the papers late Saturday night, and you'd roll them early in the morning before the sun came up, and then you'd deliver them so that people had their Sunday paper. And there were so many, you'd have to do trips on your bike, or your parents drove you around if they felt sorry for you.
That's not an easy job. That's a lot of hauling basically wood around.
Yeah, and then you have to go by the houses with your ticket book and go knock, 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 and go from door to door to collect money.
Yeah.
Kind of be like you're running numbers. You're hustling. Hey, give me my money. You owe me. You owe me. My book says. And so you got to chase people down. You got to deal with dogs. You got to. But I had some cash. I think I understood early on. We had chores and stuff, and my parents were in control of money. And they were able to use it to control me. So I was like, I need my own money. I need my own source of cash. And was like, early on, knew that and instinctively was always seeking it out.
That's very astute to want to be independent like that.
I listened to this crazy job I had that I gave myself in the 12 years old, like 6th, 7th, 8th grade. I love these. You remember those Choose Your Own Adventure books?
Oh, yeah.
I loved them. So it's where you go in a book and you read for a while, and it's like somebody comes up. It's almost like what you do in video games now, or certain games, those text games, right?
Yep.
Where they say, you want to come with me to the creepy cave in Alan's house, or do you want to come with me to Nathan's theater? And go, oh, I'm going to go to Nathan's theater. And then you go to page whatever and you follow that adventure. Or if you go to the creepy cave in Alan's house, you follow a different adventure. And I didn't have I was buying them, but I needed money to keep buying new ones, but you couldn't get them at the library. So I brought them to school in a box and I started renting them to other students.
Leasing books?
I was renting books to children, to my fellow students. Step right up. What you need is a Choose Your Own Adventure book right here.
Did you have a little ledger where you wrote down who had what book and for how long? Or
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I was a weird kid. What did you do, Nathan Fillion?
Alan, I need an adventure, man. Come on, I'm jonesing. You still have my other book. I'm not giving you anything. Come on, Alan, come on. It's been a long... I'll give you this confession, Alan. When I read those books as a kid, and it said, hey, do you want to do this or do you want to do this? I would pick a choice, but then I'd keep my finger in the book on that page just to make sure if I didn't like the choice, I go back and go, hang on a second. And at some point, I remember having like 4 to 8 fingers in there. So I wanted to go back. I don't know how far. Kind of when you're holding the book like that.
I've got cramps from reading. Lots of paper cuts. Jeez.
My parents would give me money for chores, but my first, did you get an allowance?
Yes.
I remember one of my first allowances was like 50 cents a week. I would get 50 cents. But you could get a lot for 50 cents back then. I could get a candy bar and a soda pop for 50 cents.
Wow.
That was the day. But my dad, I remember taking a dollar bill and tearing it right down the middle, saying, here's your allowance, and giving it to my brother and saying, here's your allowance.
That's weird.
We went to the store together and we were trying to buy something. I go, here's our money. And he's like, ugh, all right. And he just taped it together and took it.
No, that's kind of sweet that you have to. I mean, if you weren't friends, that would make sense. But you guys were pretty close as brothers, right?
Yeah, we were stuck at the hip.
Yeah.
But my first job...
And it cost a lot of money to get that hip surgery to get you separated. Yeah, it's more than $1.
My first job was I worked at a trophy shop.
What?
Do you remember being on a team as a kid? And at the end of the season, they take the team photo and they take your individual photo with your foot on a soccer ball. And then they'd have a frame that had in it your team, and then over there on the side would be your photo, and then there'd be a little card underneath that said everybody's name on the team, a little gold.
We had
cardboard gold
something
plaque.
Similar.
It was a cardboard frame.
Advanced.
It was a cardboard plaque.
Oh man!
I was the kid who slid the team photo in, slid your photo in, put some glue stick on the back of that thing, and put it on there.
Wow,
that was my job.
That's like factory work, man. That's like as it comes down. Glue stick, 1. That slap, 2. But I guess you knew, did you know all the kids? Was it that small of a town?
Oh, these are kids from all over the city just having the trophy shop, right? It was like one of the local trophy shops. So they all go through all these teams. A lot of teams.
Did you buy yourself any trophies that you didn't earn? I would have been wanting that.
I remember it was minimum wage. I don't remember like making a huge amount of money and going, woohoo, I'm rolling in dough now. But I do remember going, I had to pay taxes. I remember that. Like, they take that away? That was my money. I remember that shocking revelation.
When I was a paper boy, I was so mad. It was a bit of a stink when they started taxing the paper boys. It was like there were a lot of articles written about it in the paper I was delivering.
I remember taking my action figures and trying to claim Steve Austin and G.I. Joe as dependents. No.
Were they? This Steve Austin, he's even got one wonky eye. Look, this one.
Do you have any idea the maintenance on a $6 million man?
Oh, man, that was great. Have you watched any of those lately? Seen any footage from like
Not
$6 Million
lately,
Man
but
fights Bigfoot?
A
with
few
weird glowing eyes?
Yeah, I actually saw some clips of that on YouTube. But do we have a name drop sound? Is there a sound for name drops? Did we do this already?
I think I think it should be a name drop sound from a high place, like a
Kadunk.
Yeah.
Name drop. I went for breakfast at a local place not too far from my home here. The lovely Michelle Chapman, who's a producer on this show.
Is that the name? Go for it.
One of my besties. That's not the name.
Is that not the name?
But she was with me, and we're in line for breakfast, and I look over sitting and waiting for I don't know what. It's a lady, and she goes, oh, hi. And I go, oh, I know her. Hi. And I said, I'm going to go say hi. And I walk over and I go, wait a minute. I don't know this lady, but I do know this lady. Oh my gosh, it's Lindsay Wagner.
Lindsay Wagner.
Name drop. It's Jamie Summers. Yeah.
Oh my God.
It was the Bionic Woman.
So that's who Lindsay Wagner, for those people who aren't as old as us, that was the Bionic Woman. She is the Bionic Woman, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah.
When she moves around in the cafe, was it this way? Did that happen? Like she puts...
And in the ear.
Yeah.
Yeah. She had like the superpowers that were all mechanical bionic, and the Bionic Man and the Bionic Woman. There was a Bionic Dog at one point. They were big deals.
Yeah.
They were super big deals.
Yeah.
That's Hollywood royalty right there.
Yeah, that's lunchboxes. That's backpacks. And the good old lunchboxes, you know.
I think I had a $6 million man lunchbox. I think I did. I think it was red. If I didn't have it, my friend did. I also had a Jabberjaw lunchbox.
The hell is that? What's a Jabberjaw?
Old cartoon, kind of a Scooby-Doo kind of thing, but instead of a dog, it was a shark.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yep. I remember him.
It was very, very stoogey. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I think I had a Captain Caveman, which
I liked
was
him.
just
He was
weird.
great. He just reach into his fur and pull out anything he needed.
Yeah, out of his fur.
Yeah. I like the idea of the bottomless pocket that has everything you wanted.
That's good.
I have a question. What was your favorite age growing up?
Probably before puberty. I mean, depends. Favorite age? What's your favorite? How are you defining favorite age? Tell me your favorite age growing up.
So I loved being outside in the summertime. We'd play hide and seek with all the kids in the neighborhood.
Oh, yeah.
All sorts of adventures on our bikes and stuff. But then winter would hit and you're paralyzed.
Yeah, if we haven't covered, really where Nathan comes from is one of the coldest places on the planet. And it is just unforgiving. -40.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do out there?
Move. I think all you can do is move.
I didn't like it. It got dark at like 4:30. By 5 o'clock, it was black as pitch out there.
Yeah. Oof.
I mean, I love being a kid, but the winter really put a hamper on that. Even as a teenager, just being a little more independent until you had a vehicle. I think my first vehicle was a scooter. So you're still paralyzed in the wintertime. You're not driving that thing around on the ice.
Like a moped scooter?
Minus the pedals. Yeah. A moped's a moped, Alan. A scooter's a scooter.
Well, some people, okay. It wasn't a bike?
It was a motorbike. But it was 49 cc's.
the hell is a scooter?
What?
What is a scooter? Is a moped
You used to own one. You got one from your movie, Dodgeball, Average Joe's. I cannot
Vespa.
wait
That was a Vespa.
to go to that premiere. That's
Yeah,
going to be so much fun, Alan. I'm so looking forward to that.
buddy, I can't wait
That's
to
a
reach out
scooter.
and tell you about it.
That's a Vespa. That's a Vespa scooter.
So you had one. You had one of those.
Yeah. Mine didn't look like that. Mine was the Yamaha Townie. The thing it
was
had,
it brown? What is it?
it was red. It was fire engine red.
Okay.
But the thing it had was a big fat seat. You could actually give someone a double if you wanted to. It had a 2-gear, automatic 2-gear. So usually those little Sprees, the Esprit, the little Vespas, they have 1 gear. It's as fast as you go. And it's kind of great off the start, but it caps out a little earlier. Mine would not be that great off the start, but you get a 2nd gear and you get some faster top speeds.
All right.
Yeah.
And we're talking like 30 miles an hour or 40 kilometers an hour. What were you? Because
It was almost 50 kilometers, about 35 miles an hour, yeah.
All right. That's good.
It was like
It's
city
better than
streets
mine.
speed.
That's better.
It was a lot of independence when I was a little guy, when I was a young man.
You ever wreck on it?
Never did.
Oh, God. I wrecked a couple times on mine.
Yeah.
I'm not good at that. But now I have a motorcycle, so the stakes are higher. It's good. I'm still doing it. I was riding out today thinking, this is dangerous. It's fun. It's fun.
Crazy dangerous, man. Stay alive out there.
I will.
I want to confess something.
Oh,
These questions that I ask you,
yes.
I'm not coming up with them off the top of my head.
Where are they coming from?
I got a lot of these questions I'm asking you, Alan, are from a questionnaire in Women's Health magazine, getting to know your partner better. Now, I'm not saying we're partners. We're more partners. Hey, partner. We're more partners than partners.
We're partners.
We're partners in
Tool
crime.
around on our townies.
Where I think we're partners in this podcast, but I mean, for the purposes of the questionnaire, I don't think these are the partners that they were thinking about.
Wow.
Yeah, Women's Health magazine. I've been
Are
going
you having
through.
to skip over things like how to spice it up in the bedroom, or these are just getting to know your partner better?
I'll confess, there's like 250 of them. I haven't gotten that far. There might be some uncomfortable questions coming later in the show.
About my erogenous zones.
Can you find it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Well, wonderful. That's wonderful, man. I'm glad to know that now. I'll answer your last question.
Okay.
My favorite time was probably in some form of adolescence where we were playing outside too. I think that was a pretty great raucous time.
Yeah.
We had boundaries set. We played flashlight tag at night. We would go to the creek and hang out in the creek. Just try not to get leeches and catch tadpoles. But it was like suburbs. I grew up in the suburbs. It was a very safe environment. And so anything that felt like danger, outdoorsy was really fun. But we did get to play, run around at night unsupervised. And we would always be unsupervised. After you got home from school, we would go outside and we'd be out until dinner time, until my mom would call us all in, or call just my brother and I in. And I guess my sister at some point.
It was a different time.
Yeah. Long time ago now. I think that was great. Like once it got into the girls, once it got into that whole thing, man, everything just changed, and, for some of us, for the better. I'm sure you've got what was your 13, 14-year-old? You're pretty popular on campus, I'm guessing.
I don't know that I was popular. I wasn't unliked. I think I was well liked. I don't know that I was popular.
I was known, but I don't know. I certainly wasn't. I had bullies. Did you have bullies? Of course you did have bullies.
Yeah.
I had bullies.
Yeah, I had a couple bullies.
What?
Yeah. I had a couple bullies. That's a great question, Alan.
Well, I need to know that, and where are their erogenous zones?
What are your bullies' erogenous zones? Tell me about a bully story, and I'm hoping this one has like a full circle where it came back around, and there's a resolution. Do you have one of those?
No, I mean, I was always hoping this guy would end up in jail.
Ooh.
I'll just say his first name was Sammy. So
Okay.
anybody who grew up in the Plano Independent School District and was in the Davis to Haggard to Vines to Plano Senior High track, because there was a lot of different schools you could be kicking around, knew Sammy. I was actually the kid that they assigned to Sammy when he first showed up in school, like in 2nd or 3rd grade. And they're like, hey, show this guy around. Alan, you're a pretty personable kid. For some reason, I kept getting that job. Anyway, Sammy scared me from day one because he was a tough guy. He actually lived right down the block from me. His dad was not nice to him, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, those are the seeds that were planted in Sammy. But Sammy was a toughest, man, that guy scared the shit out of me. And he'd pick on me. He'd come up, I was a little guy in my grade. Hey, let's punch each other. Let's play, I don't even know, it probably had a name. So I'm kind of like, he punches me, I punch him. He punches me, I punch him. Who can take as many punches? Like, I don't want to do that. I want to do that. And he also had a roll of dimes in his hand.
This kid's treacherous.
Yeah, man. Of course Sammy cheats. The guy was a criminal. Sammy was dangerous. He beat up a skinhead one time like in 9th grade at the McDonald's. I almost put him in the hospital, just stomped him. He was dangerous, man. He scared the shit out of me. Anyway, we had gym together in 6th, 7th, 8th grade, and he was hassling me. And I went to my dad and I was like, Dad, this guy is picking on me and I don't like it. So my dad, going to my dad instead of my mom would have gone, great. Boop, 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 boop. Hey, school, get this Sammy kid off my son. And it would have been resolved. But you don't do that as a little boy. You don't want to go to your mom about that stuff. So I went to Dad. Dad will tell me what to do. I think he was drunk. Respectfully, I'm pretty sure he was maybe a few Coors cans past sensible when he told me, well, Alan, what you need to do is just punch him in the face. He picks on you, punch him in the face. You go to the biggest guy, like that dumb adage, pick the biggest guy and beat him up, punch him in the face, and then they'll respect you. I'm like, well, Sammy's the biggest. Sammy's the one that you'd go for. He's like, good, punch him in the face. And you can call him a son of a bitch if you want. I'm like, I can curse at him. He's like, yeah. So I was that young that like I'm getting permission to curse.
Uh-huh.
So the next day in my memory, where his locker was right by mine in gym. He comes, he starts picking on me. And I said, hey, Sammy, I don't know. I'll say, I don't want to, but I said, you. That's what I said, man. I said, you, Sammy, leave me alone. I don't want to be picked on by you. And he said, whoa, you better watch your mouth. I said, really? I better watch my mouth? You're concerned about cussing? You. And he went to the coach and told the coach I was cussing at him. I was blown away.
Wow.
Like you told you, no, Tudyk, get in here. You got to come in here. Don't, Peckerwood, these Texas coaches, pulls me in there and he says, no, me cursing at him. And I'm like, he told on me? I can't believe that. He told on me. He's like, just don't. I'm like, he picks him. He's like, I know. He gets it. Just, I have to tell you to stop. So go out there. And I went back to my locker and he was there. And I said, man, I can't believe you told on me. That's ridiculous. And he's like, you better watch your mouth, man. You got to watch your mouth. And I was like, I'm not watching my mouth. F you. And I walked out of that gym. I was, man, on air. I felt like I couldn't believe it. I stood up to the bully and he pussied out and told on me. And it was right about then that I felt the hand grabbing the back of my head and my hair being twisted up in a fist of rage as he bounced my head off of a locker. I found myself on the ground and looked up and it was Sammy. And he's just looking at me plaintively like, I had to do it. I had to do it. Like, you made me. Like he was, like I had forced him. I went to the nurse and the principal came and he's like, who did this to you? Sammy. And then he got in trouble. So I told on him, he told on me. I guess that's kind of full circle, but I still had run into him.
Did the bullying stop at that point?
Hell no.
Oh, really?
Hell no, man. And it got worse as I moved schools with different guys. I mean, they catch you in a moment, you know, like if they catch you alone. Texas is tough, man. Like the Canadian parts of Canada the same way. It's everywhere. Where somebody walks in, they'll be like, what are you looking at? And there's no right answer. You either say you, which is wrong. You don't say that. And you don't say nothing because that's also trouble. It's just somebody wants to fight you. They want to fight you. And I had a smart ass face. I had a face what they would have called somebody who needs to get smacked.
Wait a minute. When you say had,
Yep. That's true. It's true. I just have it on my face. It lives on my face.
Bullies are the worst.
I've used it to my advantage in life. I tend to play smart-ass roles, if you've noticed.
I wonder, bullies of the world, are they not watching all the movies where, like, hey, you're the asshole in this scenario?
Right.
Are they not watching the same movies I'm watching?
I don't know. Maybe they need to like check in with other Facebook, like go one generation up of Facebook and see how the bullies turn out, because a lot of them it didn't work out. I mean, Sammy now is born again. I know this through the internet. It's all very Christian.
He found his way.
He found some way. I don't know.
I bet all this behavior haunts him.
I doubt that. I don't know. Maybe he does. I mean, that dude. But I'm sure he had I think his dad was, tough on him. His dad was, I think, really hard on him. He didn't have a dad who gave him great advice like, go and curse at the big guy who you have no defense against. Go do that. He didn't have that in his corner like me. How about you? Did you have to?
Alan, at one point, I had a teacher who was a real jerk. And I'll say,
oh, wow.
Bully, because they're in a position of power, right? There's age, there's size, there's authority, and they have one over on you because they have they're marking your grades and all that. This guy was a jerk. He was a real jerk. He was our math teacher at one point, and 5 kids in the whole class passed the exam. When that happens, if I were, I studied to be a teacher. Did I ever tell you that?
Yeah, I know.
I was going to be a high school teacher. So I'll tell you something. If 5 kids in your class pass the exam, the issue is not the kids. The issue is the teacher.
Right.
But that was not his perspective. So he said, I'm going to split the class up into 2 groups. Get this one. Over here, these 5 kids, they're the smart. And the rest of you, you're the stupid group. So that's the guy we're working with right now. So that's the thing. And he's now trying to backtrack and get us all on course with what we're supposed to be learning for this exam, because we can't proceed without it. And I'm not getting it. I am just not getting it. I'm watching him teach it, and I'm like, and so I opened up the book and I said,
am I to assume that you were put into the stupid group?
Oh yes.
Oh, yes, you were.
Math was not my strong point. I'm in the stupid group. Okay. And I said, to heck with this guy. I'm going to look in, what does the textbook say? Because the textbook is right here. Everything I needed should be right here. So I look up in the textbook and I go, oh, it was pretty simple. It was pretty simple what to do.
What a mature response.
It. And the guy in front of me, Jason B., turned around and said, what is it? How do you do it? Because we're all desperate to get out of the stupid group. Like, here's a couple of kids just desperate to learn something. He goes, what do we do? And teacher says, hey, you guys stop talking. And I said, I was just trying to explain it to Jason. And he says, you explaining it to Jason is like the blind leading the blind.
Oh my God.
And I was just, now, never mind, I forgot it. I didn't learn it now. And I'm just seething. And that's all I can think about. Dinner that night with my family, my mom would always have us go around the table and say, all right, everybody, say something great that happened today to you and say something not so great that happened to you today. And that was always kind of the basis of our family conversations, how we'd all kind of, support each other and do those kind of things. It was really wonderful. And when I said, this is what happened that was not so great, I told them the story. And they said, well, you should really ask him to apologize. He said, I can do that? I said, yeah, you should actually do that, because that's not right. He should not be doing it. No, keep in mind, my parents were both teachers. Well respected. Yes, well respected and well known in the very same school system. My mother was best friends with the vice principal of the school I was attending. He and my mom were thick as thieves, and my dad would play backgammon with him all the time. Mr. D. He played backgammon with Mr. D all the time. I really liked Mr. D. He was over at our house constantly. He was a nice guy.
So wait, the vice principal of your high school or your school
junior
was
high.
over at your house?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we had teachers all my parents' friends were teachers.
Oh, wow. The vice principal is always the scariest one. But they're friends with yours.
He was great.
Great.
He was
Wow.
also my 8th grade teacher. He was fantastic.
Wow.
8th grade? 9th grade. He was fantastic. I loved him. Anyway, he said, yeah, you should go there and say, sir, I would like to speak with you outside, and take him outside the classroom and say, I would like you to apologize for what you did. That was uncalled for. And I said, okay, I'm going to do this. So next day I go to school. All right, I got my parents' permission. I can do this. I'm going to go to school.
Put your head in the locker.
I'm gonna-
Go on. Yes, go. Sorry.
So teacher takes attendance and says, okay, let's get started. And boom, I put up my hand. And he goes, yes, Nathan. I said, can I speak to you outside, please? And everybody freezes. And kind of looks over sideways at me going, what? And he kind of does a little freeze and goes, all right. So I walk outside and everybody's looking around at each other like, oh, damn it, what's going on? Like, nobody's doing this. Who does this? What's happening?
Who does this?
I go outside and he's a big fella. He's a tall guy. He's got a big mustache. And I said, Mr. K, that's initial. When you said this thing to me yesterday about me telling Jason what to do is the blind leading the blind, I found that really offensive. And I would like you to apologize. And you could see his mustache just go twitch. And he sits and he considers for a second and he goes, fine, I apologize. And I said, Mr. K, you insulted me in front of the class. I would prefer if you apologized to me in front of the class. And his mustache is just shaking and twitching on one side. I'm just sitting there just smiling at him. I'm sure I was smug. I'm sure I had a smug little look on my face.
You'd have to be. But you
And we walked back into the classroom and he apologized to me in front of the class. And that changed everything.
Wow.
It changed the power dynamic in our class. He was reduced. He was no longer this big, scary bully. Nobody was afraid of him after that.
Oh, wow.
He didn't last much longer at our school. I went back home and they said, how'd it go today? I told them what I did. And they said, you did what? Nobody told you to go take it to the class and make him do this in front of the class. I said, I thought it was on red. I thought it was good. But that was one of my bully stories. One of them. I've had a couple.
Wow. Okay. I had a bad teacher in 12th grade. So my final year in high school, I had put off health. You had to take health class. And this is like, boys have penises and girls don't. We don't want to get into what they have, but let's just say it's different. It was let's not upset anybody while we tell you about your bodies class. And since I had put it off till my 12th grade year, the biggest group of people who had put it off till their 12th grade year were the football players, because they basically have health. They're always doing physical stuff. They don't need it. So they're always like, I don't want to take that crap. I don't want to take, how to work out, how to eat right, how to, it's like all of that kind of stuff. So my class was full of football players and myself. And we had a bad substitute teacher one day. And he was old school. He was like an old school Texan guy who came in, and this changed my experience at high school as well, because I was chewing on my pen while he was talking and it exploded in my mouth. Because what are you chewing? I don't know. Oral fixation. Who knows why? I raised my hand. I said, yes, I'm sorry. I have a pen, ink in my mouth. I need to go rinse it out. And he looked at me and he said, I don't think so. I think you're stupid enough to put a pen in your mouth and chew on it. You can sit there and think about what you did with pen ink in your mouth. All right, moving on. And he turned around and I sat there for a second. I was like, And the whole class looked at me like, what? Your move, Tudyk. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to sit here with this ink in my mouth. I'm going to go wash it out because this is not healthy to have this ink in my mouth. He said, if you get up and you leave here, don't come back. And I said, I don't care. I don't want to come back. So I went out. I left class. I washed out my mouth. And then, he said, you can go to the office. You can go to the principal's office. So I was like, fine. I don't care. Fine. So I don't care. I'm cool. I skateboard. And I spit it out. And then I came back to get my books because I'd left my books in the classroom. And I opened the door And he saw me coming in the classroom and ran to the door and put his body against the door. You're not allowed to come back in here. You can't come back here. Go to the principal. I'm like, my books are in there. And I had my foot in the door and I powered past him and pushed him out of the way, got my books and left and went to the principal's office. Like, there's a guy down there who's lost his mind, is what I told the principal. I'm like, this is what happened. And they're like, yeah, that sounds weird. And okay, sit here, sit over there, go to your next class when the bell rings. And meanwhile, what had happened was a revolution. It was like people didn't respect the guy anymore, like your guy. They ended up throwing things at him. Like it was chaos after that.
Wow.
And this one guy, Jeffries, I guess we'll say that's his last name. I went to school with that kid from kindergarten. He came up to me, big guy. He was a linebacker, I think. Anyway, he came to me and he said, Alan, anybody ever messes with you on this campus, you come to me, we got your back. And I had protection after that, man. Because I stood up to this asshole in front of everybody.
You garnered their respect.
Yeah. It was good. I didn't need a lot of protection, but it really felt good because I especially in my 12th grade year, I dressed weird. I'd wear costumes to school, basically. I had a huge sombrero I wore to school all the time. And I would wear hairnets and, Lunch Lady Appreciation Day was almost every month. I would come and the lunch ladies give you all their stuff, all the aprons and all the stuff. They'd give you all their stuff and you wear it all day long.
The lunch lady would give you her apron?
They had them in the back. They were like plastic. You got aprons.
You asked for an apron?
Because I wanted to dress like a lunch lady and attend school. I had trouble at school.
It seems like this is like early performance art. This is you're a performer.
Yeah. It was a very big school. We had 1,500 graduating in my class. I didn't know the two kids. We were sat alphabetically at graduation. I didn't know the kid on either side of me. Like I've been going to this school since kindergarten, through the Plano Independent School District, and I didn't know the guys. Like it was a big school. Nathan, I think we should tell a little something about ourselves to one another.
Let's get to know you better, Alan.
I know you and you know me. Let's get to know you better.
Yeah, I want to get to know you better. Although I feel like I've gotten to know you a lot better this time around.
We've gone deep on a couple things that we've never talked about before.
Yes, yeah. So here's something that you don't know about me, Nathan. I don't eat cheeks. I won't eat cheeks. Now, I know this sounds weird, but anybody who goes to restaurants and you try out new things, a lot of new little restaurants, a lot of times they're like, have some pork cheek braised on this, or beef cheek has been broiled, or that is pig face. Let's put it like it is. Have some pig face, you son of a bitch. Just those jowly cheeks. Cow face. Nobody wants to eat cow face. You eat their face. And that zombie shit, that's not good.
I'm going to agree with you. There's something very Hannibal Lecter about eating the face. I just feel like that's where I draw the line. Under the neck and down, I guess you could count me in, but
yeah. And they try to make it, tart it up and make it sound all good. A glistening trestle of pork cheek on a sumptuous bed of saffron or something like that. That's just pig face on rice.
Now, if they said the pork cheek was actually from the rump, like then
that
you're in.
Cheek.
Yeah. Are you good with that?
Yep.
It's a rump roast, but you'll go to the other end of the animal, and that's
which
fine.
Seems wrong because that's butt stuff, and nobody wants to eat. Nobody on the menu says,
give me the business end.
Special. Yeah, I want isn't the business end the part with the teeth?
Not once it's dead.
I guess it depends on what your business is.
None of your business, Alan.
What kind of business do you have with this animal? I will eat a rump roast and not think twice about it.
I went to Thailand and I watched a group of people clamber over the fish cheeks. They all wanted the cheeks of the fish. That was the delectable part. I was not on the list. I was not in that.
Yeah, that's nasty. I mean, I guess on a fish, for some reason, it seems less nasty. I don't know, but it's still a face. I guess because they don't have expressions. The fish, If they had eyebrows, we'd be screwed. There'd be no way you could eat that much fish. But they don't.
Because of their frozen expression, we feel safe. And
yeah, they look stupid. They look like they don't have emotions or feeling.
Except barracuda, man. You've been scuba diving, seen a barracuda come at you?
Yeah. Yeah.
They look like they're mad
yeah.
at you for being there. They're looking, they're always frowning, and they got their teeth.
Well, they're
out.
also in your face. They don't mind. They don't know.
They're quite
distance.
curious.
Yeah, I guess that's what it is.
Yeah, they're quite curious.
They got razor teeth. Scary looking.
Yeah, like dogs.
I think that's a lesson to people out there who want to do too much Botox. Look, if you get to a point where your facial expression is frozen, somebody might eat your face. They just don't have compassion for you anymore. They don't see you as having emotion. Just be careful. Too much Botox, somebody will eat your face. And Botox face is, I hear, pretty tasty. Nathan.
Yes.
What do you have to share about yourself?
Alan, here's a little something. I don't know if you know this about me, but much like you were speaking about earlier when you went to high school and you would dress in costumes and whatnot, I think I was, wanting to have an identity and to set myself apart. My brother was a very talented musician. He was athletic. He could sing. I didn't have those things going for me. I learned how to ride a unicycle. Yeah. Yeah.
That's so you wanted to be cool.
Well, hey, hang on. I wanted to be different. If I wanted to be cool, I don't think I would have bought a unicycle. But there was two things in my life. If you remember the television program Welcome Back, Kotter.
Oh, yes.
In the opening credits of Welcome Back, Kotter, at the very end, they're showing all this kind of a montage of Brooklyn life.
Yeah.
I think it was Brooklyn. The very last shot is a kid riding down a street, kind of a dismal, kind of a fall day, kind of a cloudy day.
Yeah.
He really looked depressing, didn't it? And he's riding a unicycle away from us. And I thought, what's that? And then there was the show Bosom Buddies, which I thought was a fantastic show. I really liked that show.
Great opening song.
And I thought those two were so cool. The montage in the beginning of that show was so cool where they're shopping and one guy would throw the produce behind him and the other guy would catch it in the bags. And at one point, it looks like they're having a real intense conversation. And Tom Hanks was on a 10-speed and the other gentleman whose name I'm blanking on at the moment.
His name is Peter Scolari.
Was riding a unicycle. And I thought, that's for me.
He was a bit of a circus performer, that guy, in real life.
So I learned how to ride a unicycle. And then later on, my friend Tom got one, and then his little brother got one. And I remember one time, it was not a short journey, we rode our unicycles to school one day. And let me tell you, these things are not built for long distance. That is not what they are designed for. High wires, bears, and, hanging around in the neighborhood on the driveway. Not like the 6.5 miles to school. I remember being so sore.
God.
I'm sitting on that thing that we couldn't ride them home. We had to walk home. It was just too painful.
Bow-legged.
It was like, it hurts so bad. There's not a lot of shock absorption in that seat. The whole way home.
Wow.
We must have looked a sight, the three of us, just hauling ass.
Yeah, I did not know. Have you had any urge to get one of these electric unicycle type looking things where you just stand on either side of the one wheel? You seen those?
I've had a number of
electrified mobility things.
I want to say a skateboard, but it was an electric skateboard, but it had pneumatic tires on it. It had air-filled tires. It wasn't a polypropylene plastic wheel. It was a tire.
I remember
I've had a bunch of these throughout the years. Yeah. The last time I bought one, I went, that's it. You know what? I'm done. This thing's going to kill me. I'm going to die on this skateboard for sure.
Yeah, they're dangerous. Yeah.
I just think I have too much to lose. I don't want to fall down, Alan. I don't want to fall down. I'm too old to fall down and just to jump up and go, it's okay. There's no spring that pops me back up anymore. I just lay there until someone comes and gets me.
It's a sad thing that happens. We're the same age. We're in our 50s.
You're older than me, Alan.
I know. I'm a little older than you. We're the age of the Golden Girls, of most of the Golden Girls. These are our golden years.
Yeah, right?
And Yeah, you never saw them. There were never, maybe there was an episode, one of them falls, and that is the actual subject of the episode because it would be everything happens around it. Maud falls. I'm sure that her name wasn't Maud on the show.
But she did another show, and then there's Maud.
Yeah, and then there's
That was
Maud.
her other show, yeah.
But yeah, that isn't even her name.
Her name is Bea Arthur. She played Dorothy on The Golden Girls.
Alan, I want to do the bit of the show called I Wrote That.
Oh.
I'm going to name a movie, and I want you to tell me one of the lines in that movie that you wrote.
Okay. I wrote that.
Alan, the movie is one of my most favorite projects you've ever done. It is
Tucker and
Dale versus Evil.
Cool.
Give me
Thank
a
you.
line in that movie that you wrote.
I don't know. I don't know.
What?
I didn't write. I'm sure I wrote he's heavy for half a guy. I think that ended up in the movie. God damn,
Did.
he's heavy for half a guy.
I'm going to name another movie.
Okay.
Wreck-It Ralph.
I don't think I made it. Oh, I said, and this has actually been attributed to me, but it's not as much as attributed. Where the line was, King Candy. He says, "You wouldn't hit a guy with glasses, would you?" And he takes off my glasses and hits me with them, and I say, "Oh, you hit a guy with glasses. Well played." I just said, "Well played" was what I added, but I didn't. I don't know if I added too much in that one.
Rogue One.
These are just going to be one after the other. A lot of the lines in Rogue One are mine. Because when we made that movie, the script kept changing. So, and also I was motion capture. So I could blow every take with new lines as long as I was basically saying the same thing. It was so, I can't imagine. I mean, Diego Luna, God bless him. Because I would say the line once, and then after that I was like, I can say whatever I want. There's that scene where we're coming up. We're in Jeddah and we're leaving. We're like, oh, we better get out of here. There's a lot of Imperial troops around. And he goes, "Droid, where are you going with those prisoners?" And I turn around and I say, "Prisoners? Yes, these are prisoners, which I'm taking to prison, to imprison them in prison," or some version of that, where I just keep basically saying the same thing.
Stop right there. Where are you taking these prisoners?
These are prisoners.
Yes, where are you taking them?
I am taking them to imprison them in prison.
And then there was another flub. Like this speaks to how much the script was changing, was that Diego showed up on set with a split lip and it had been painted on.
Yes.
And the director goes, "Why do you have that?" He's like, "I don't know. I had to fucking come in so early to get this thing." And he said, "Oh, I know why. Oh, that was from you got your split lip because you were interrogated, but the interrogation scene is cut, so you don't have that split lip here anymore. So you need to go take it off." He's like, "I showed up early to get this fucking thing on. Can't we just leave it on? What if he hits me?" And he's kind of joking, kind of serious. I was like, "Yeah, I'll hit him and tell him to be quiet. I'll hit him as a prisoner." Like that's how loose it was, man. It was it was loose. So that was kind of what we came up with. And then I said, "And there's a fresh one if you mouth off again."
Taking us to...
Quiet! And there's a fresh one if you mouth off again.
That is my phone ring when you call me. That's what it's so I'm going to tell you my favorite lines that you say in your projects, by and large, I find out you wrote them.
That's very cool. The fact that you feel that way and that people, when I go to Comic-Cons, will say, "Hey, could you write this on the picture?" And a lot of times they're the lines that I came up with. You know, "It's called Lance, hello," all that kind of crap from, that from A Knight's Tale, that it made me want to write. I was like, well, maybe I should just write things because I guess I can collaborate with a writer. Maybe I could do some on my own. And that's why I wrote Con Man. It was from that encouragement. So it's your fault. Con Man is your fault. Any problems that arise from that, again, Nathan's fault. And I'm still writing stuff. I'm writing that other thing right now, which we were discussing earlier, and maybe one day I'll be able to share it with everyone. But I'm writing again, which is fun.
Before we move on, I just want to say that often in your stories, when you have other people, you do an impression of them. Rather than just tell me what they said, You put on the person. Your Diego Luna is fantastic.
Yeah. I could come on set and the whole crew would be there like, what are we doing today? And they'd all turn around and go, fucking Alan. Jesus, that was Diego. Diego's great. He's great. And the fact that he has not won any awards for Andor is bullshit.
Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, Alan. And you imitate people all the time.
Yeah, I do.
Mm-hmm.
I do. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, here's mine. You ready?
Yes, please tell me.
I did a bit in a little movie called Percy Jackson's Sea of Monsters. I had a small scene where I'm walking around and I'm showing these kids this phenomenal Federal Express style package delivery service that I have as Hermes, the messenger god. The director said, we have about like 30 seconds between this and this. So just come up with something in there. 30 seconds of something to, all right, okay.
That's a lot.
So, yeah, but they had a great framework. They had great stuff for me to work with. And I just said, I can turn this into this joke. I can say this, and that, blah, blah, blah. We do this lovely scene with the incredible Logan Lerman and Alexandra Daddario was there. He's so young at the time, still doing fantastic, those guys. But I got to tell you, they were just pros. Yes, they were young. Man, they knew their stuff. They did great work.
Yeah. I worked with Logan once. He's a good guy.
Yeah. I've worked with him a couple times over the years and I love these guys. They're very good workers. Anyway, we did a scene, we do their scene, and I say something very, hey, buddy. And I pull Percy over and I say, just so you know, if you see my son, tell him, and I say something kind of heartfelt and warm and kind of drop the bravado for once. And I send them off. And, all right, see you guys later. And as they walk off, the scene's over. So I just, once the scene's over, I think it's gloves off. You can do whatever you like.
Yeah.
And I said, they'll never make it. That's lunch.
I need to watch this movie. I have not watched it.
That's lunch was literally something I say to the crew whenever I say, all right, that's it. That's lunch. That's a wrap, everybody. And I always say it far too early. It's never lunch and it's never a wrap. But it's something I'll do something and go, that's a wrap. And clearly it's not a wrap. So I did my last bit. They'll never make it. And then screamed out to the crew, that's lunch. And they kept it in the movie. And between those two lines, actually, I said, they'll never make it. A bell goes off. Bang, that's lunch. So they used it to great effect. I was
fantastic.
More than pleased that they did that. And another one, now I'm hesitant to say that I wrote it because I think I've mentioned Kelly before, one of their camera assistants, where we have a secret handshake. I think she wrote this one. This is The Rookie. This is John Nolan and his lovely wife, Bailey, played by the lovely Jenna Dewan. She's starting to decorate the house with some of her stuff because she's going to move in. She has this crappy ceramic gnome that she's made in some pottery class. She's she's got a thing for trying to do art, but it's like the one thing she's not good at. She does all these incredible things, but this is the one thing that she just can't get a grip on. But I said, no, we're going to put it right here on the shelf. It's going to be great. And then there's a bit of a tremor and it falls off. And she's thinking about signs. And is this a sign? It falls off and it cracks and it smashes on the ground. And I said, hey, I'm sure that doesn't mean anything. And we're just looking at this thing. And then I pop up and I go, but you never know.
I like it.
But I waited so long for the scene to be over that I was safe in just doing it because it was just for me and the crew, just for us to laugh. But they kept it in along with this extremely pregnant pause.
Yeah, man. That's great. I had in 28 Days with Sandra Bullock, I was on this, it was a rehab movie with Sandra Bullock, and her and I are both we're being belayed, like we're in rappelling gear. I mean, God, what a group of people, man. It's like, such cool. It was one of my first movies ever. Your first ones, you have so much fun. And Sandra Bullock, Sandy, was just fantastic.
Name drop.
Anyway, we're up on this thing. I'm wearing a harness all day long and sweatpants, these green sweatpants. I played this crazy person named Gerhard Weihnacht, who is very emotional. He's always crying. A lot of my characters cry, I've realized. Interesting. But anyway, he's a very emotional guy, very sensitive. I'm up there for hours, and the blood is rushed to my nether regions. Also, I have a harness on, and this thing is like lycra thin. And the strap, you can see from below, you can see that whole region there is being highlighted.
Throttled.
That's more what it was. It was being throttled. And there was a joke that I had. We all wrote our histories of our characters. The director asked us to do that. Betty Thomas asked us to do that. And he was a stripper. And I had these stripper dances I would do off camera for the crew, where I was pointing in these weird ways. Basically, all my stripper dances just me pointing at my junk. And so we finished the scene. Again, there's a cut. This is back when there's film. Betty yells, cut. And I look down at my region and I said, oh my God, look at my package. And I point in this really weird way with a long arm and a finger at the end. And I point, which was part of one of my stripper dances. But even though she had yelled cut, there was still film going through the camera, and it ended up in the movie. And they just took her cut out of the thing, and it's in there. Oh my God, look at my package. And I point at my dick.
I remember this moment.
Yeah, it was I was very proud of that when it finally came out, of that moment specifically. Betty was a big one with, who's got another joke? I don't like this joke. I don't know. Anybody got anything they want to use? And I'd be like, are you serious? Oh, I got two. If I'm standing over there, I can say this. And if I do this, she'd be like, the first one, no, that's too complicated. We'll do the second one if we have time. She'd go round the room if anybody has a good idea.
I will remind any writers out there listening at this moment that by no means do I think, or does Alan think that we're smarter than writers and we're better than writers. But I also believe that comedy, especially, is a team sport. And a couple of actors who have been doing it for a few decades, everybody brings something to the table. Yeah. And a super smart person will bring 5 great ideas to work and get ready to go with one that's better.
Yeah. My favorite jokes since I mentioned comment, my favorite jokes in comment were from other people. They're the ones that make me laugh the most. Yeah. All right, Nathan. Is this another podcast? Did we do it? Feels like we did it.
Alan, not only did we do it, we keep doing it. This is 16 now we did, and a Christmas special. We had a Christmas special. Alan, have you been talking to anybody who listens to your podcast?
No. Yes.
Nobody you know listens to your podcast.
Chad. Shout out to Chad, who I go to his gym in Los Angeles. Not a sponsor. Get ripped with Chad. He's listened to it.
What does he say? What are the reactions that you're getting?
I think they're positive. They're positive. I feel like you're getting more positive than me. I don't know. Maybe I don't talk to people. I try not to talk to people. People.
I'm out there pushing it, Alan. I'm pushing this show. Oh, you haven't?
I need to push.
I'm sure you'll find time. Like, throw a little guilt in there. I think I might be hanging out with more supportive people. That's all. Certainly, your wife listens to your podcast.
No,
Carissa,
should she? She doesn't listen to it. My family doesn't listen to it.
Alan's brother and sister absolutely listen to the podcast.
Does your family appreciate your sense of humor, Alan? I know that you're a bit of a black sheep in your family.
I think I was. I think I've come out on the other side now, and I'm a little better. I think they do appreciate my humor. I think they do. I really do. I think they know I'm a little...
He's out there, but they can't argue your success, though.
My mom, last time I was there, I was doing a fast. To try to get in shape. And somebody was telling me fasts are really good for your body. It resets your stomach and your stomach biome, and it helps your brain and all this stuff. So I was at their house not eating for almost 48 hours.
Recipe for disaster.
And it was surprisingly great. But my mom was eating and she was like, I'm done. And I was like, and there's still food on her plate. And I said, Mom, you're not going to finish that? There are people right next to you who are starving. And she laughed a genuine laugh. That was really great. There are people right next to you who are starving. because I heard it from her my entire life. There are people in China who are starving. I don't know where they got that. I don't know if there were, but it was a callback with a twist from my mom, and she got every part of the joke and laughed, a genuine laugh. And a genuine laugh for your mom is one of the best things you could ever.
Exactly. You know, my mom always comments that I was a quirky kid, you know, and
You rode a unicycle. Yes,
That's
Corky
right.
barely touches it, but yeah.
So, but my parents were extremely supportive. They just wanted me to find an interest in something, be interested in something, do something. I was a little all over the place. I was a bit of it. I was a real daydreamer, but boy, I loved movies. I loved TV shows, and I loved that stuff. And my mom kind of laughs. She definitely laughs and says all those things that we kind of laughed about and kind of worried a little bit about, kind of like, ooh, I hope this works out okay, was all preparing you for this incredible career you've built. It's all lining up now.
How beautiful. Oh, that's a really good relationship, it sounds like, that you and your mom have.
Listen, my folks are extremely supportive and love to live vicariously through me and love to hear about my adventures all the time. And man, that is this life. This life that we have, this incredible journey we're on, is an adventure day after day.
Yeah, it is. It is.
When you have an experience with these incredible actors from all over the industry, you're going, oh yeah, I'm rubbing elbows with these guys, and he called me the other day, and it's special. It is special.
Yeah, we're lucky. Hey, buddy, I could talk with you forever. Let's keep doing it. Let's do number 17 next.
You want to keep going?
Yeah. Let's keep going. There's so many other things. There's so many. Oh, buddy, wait till I tell you about the weirdest direction I got on this sort of evolving direction I was getting on this movie that ended up going to such a weird place.
I'm writing this down so we have something to talk about the next time. Weirdest direction.
I also want to know what season you are makeup wise. So there's so much more to cover. Are you a spring or a summer? Are you a fall? Are you an autumn?
I don't know that.
This is what we're going to get. We're going to nail that down.
I don't know that.
Would you look good in capri pants? This is what the Mademoiselle getting to know your person better. That's what these things.
Your magazine questionnaires you're looking at. We got to get some from Vogue. We got to get one from Mademoiselle and from Tiger Beat.
Stop talking. We'll save it for next time.
Oh my God, thank you for listening. You just bless your heart. You know what? If you haven't yet, why don't you head on over to our Patreon? You're going to get some bonus content. That's extra content. They're longer episodes. There's more there. You know what's better than less? More. You also get a chance to get your hands on some incredible crap. The kinds you don't need to wash off after you're done. And if you love the show, please leave us a review and tell your friends. Once We Were Spacemen is a Collision 33 production. The hell that is. The show's produced by Michelle Chapman, Siobhan Holman, oh yeah, and Josh Levy. I wear them jeans. He is of Collision 33. It's all starting to make sense. It's edited and mixed and produced by Resonant Recordings with special thanks to Courtney Blomquist and Adam Townsell. Our theme music's done by Carlos Sosa. The Grooveline Horns guy? Yeah! And Joshua Moore. Artwork is done by Louis Jensen. Until next time, I swear to God, I love you.
The hell is a scooter?